So next up in our pen testing environment is we should actually try to do either a DoS or a DDoS against our targets. Now, if you're not familiar with either one of these terms, again, I'm going to recommend that you go back and look at our main courses on denial of services. And the big issue here is that the differences between the two is whether you have one system attacking or multiple systems attacking. And yes, when multiple systems are attacking, you do need to cut the hard lines. I never understood that movie quote, especially in an airplane. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, there's another homework assignment for you. Go watch Transformers. So the purpose here for us to perform this type of pen test is actually to go through and see if we can find out if any of our servers are going to be vulnerable to these types of attacks. Normally, these types of attacks are caused by an attacker sending packets. Sometimes we've heard of the ping of death before, but they could also be SYN packets. These packets are going to be illegitimate and will hopefully overwhelm the system. But we have to be careful about this because our goal, again, is not to necessarily shut down their network. We're testing to see if it can be done. So it'll also help us to determine minimum thresholds. But it's important to note that the pen tester cannot ensure that the system is resilient to a DoS attack. So during this process, we'll also be able to make sure that the systems are stable or that they have a way of adjusting, especially if you have a solution in place that's supposed to protect you from denial of service attacks. It'll also help us in trying to review the current security controls that are in place. You know what, let me correct myself there. It will not only help you, but it'll also help the administrators of your target make sure that things are working the way that they're supposed to be working. Are the load balancers working the way they're supposed to work? Are the firewalls responding the correct way? Are the IDS or IPS systems responding correctly? So we've got several steps that we'll go through during this process. We'll start off by first taking a look at an outline objective. After we've done that, we'll then try to load up the server or get it loaded. Boy, there's a joke there, right? We'll also try to see if we can discover any systems that are vulnerable to denial of service attacks. Again, most of the time we're protecting the big bad servers on the network, but what about that one server off to the side that nobody ever pays attention to? In our testing, we'll also want to perform a SYN attack on the server, as well as possibly flooding the ports. And because we're trying to implement a denial of service, we can also try to implement an email bomb. And if companies are using web-based applications and some of those applications have forms, we'll want to try to flood the web forms. And then, of course, like everything else I've talked to you guys about, you guys will eventually here be able to just finish my sentences for me here. But you know we're going to document the bejeebas out of this, right? So let's go ahead and get our DOS on. Wow, back in the 1990s, that would have had a whole different meaning.